Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaste Swagatam. We have with us Shri Mahalingam ji. Shri Mahalingam Balaji ji is the author of the critically acclaimed book Brahmin Genocide, the precursor to Hindu Extinction, on which Bṛhat has written about and has also covered its launch. He has recently approached the Honorable Madras High Court with the grievance that educational institutions are propagating the academically false Aryan race theory, which is promoting divisiveness among the people. He argued his case as the party in person, and he relied upon the writings of various scholars to contend that the Aryan race theory or the Aryan Dravidian theory is false and would cause substantial harm to impressionable minds. The Madras High Court has directed the NCERT and the State Council of Educational Research and Training to consider the grievance of the petitioner regarding the inclusion of the Aryan race theory in the syllabus of educational institutions. The court directed that the writ petition filed by Sri Mahalingam Balaji be treated as a representation for the purpose and that a decision be taken within 12 weeks. This was on October 26th, so by January 2025, we should hear a decision. About Sri Balaji. Sri Mahalingam Balaji, whose pen name is Asi, hails from a lineage of Vedic scholars and Agnihotris, who moved to secular occupations one generation ago. He has had a successful career in the corporate sector for nearly 3 decades, having held many leadership positions in India and abroad. As a corporate leader and research director, he is well known for his thought leadership and extensive experience in setting up global research and analytics teams and mentoring research teams at scale. Currently, he is incubating a think tank to articulate the Bharatiya civilizational worldview in contemporary contexts and develop institutional mechanisms to aid research on Bharatiya Parampara. Sri Balaji's new book is scheduled to launch in January 2025, and the book is focused on debunking the current false and misleading propaganda about caste system and argues that it is primarily a Western colonial construct. Namaste ji, welcome, vanakkam. We have some questions for you.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaste Kavita ji. Namaste to Bṛhat viewers. Please go ahead. Is my voice audible ji? Is that okay?
Yes, ji, you're very audible. And we wanted to ask you, what is this case all about? Can you please summarize it for us and our viewers?
Sure ji. The union government and the state government textbooks have been propagating false and misleading claims about Aryan race and about this Aryan invasion theory. So this, what is this theory, first of all, right? So I think many of the Bṛhat viewers might already be aware, but just to sum it up, this says that there is a distinct race of people called the Aryans who invaded or migrated. There are two versions of it. So either they invaded or they are migrated into Bharat somewhere during the period of 2000 BCE to 1500 BCE. During this period, they have migrated. And when they came in, they also brought along with them their Vedic culture, Sanskritam, and also the sacred Vedas. And they actually suppressed the indigenous population and they kind of replaced the existing civilization with theirs. This is basically the summary of what the Aryan theory is. Now, this theory has been refuted by many scholars. Baba Sahib Dr. Ambedkar has extensively refuted this. And even when we find that there is a Delhi historian group in the year 2001, they had published a document on taking the title called Communalization of Education or something like that. It's called the History Textbook Controversy. I think your viewers can Google and find it. I think it is publicly available document. There also they have discredited this theory. They have said that the exact word I will read. They say the race theory has long been discarded, and no one in academic discourse speaks of the Aryan race. And there are various other documents which are available. So this continued inclusion of the Aryan race theory, even though it has been refuted, is a bit surprising, and this kind of leads into indoctrinating young minds with a racist narrative, and it has a potential to kind of create a intercommunal misunderstandings in
Yes.
between, thinking that there are some group of people in Bharatiya who are of a different race.
Hmm.
Right? So this, I think, is in violation of, in my opinion, violation of Article 14, which is on the equality of people, and also on the Article 21, which is about living the life with dignity for all Bharatiyas as per our Indian Constitution. So
Why?
I
So,
filed a honey.
go ahead, please.
Sorry. So I filed a writ petition in the Honorable Madras High Court, contending that we have to stop propagating this race theory in school textbooks. And I requested the Honorable High Court to give a verdict on this. So this is the background of the case.
Okay, okay, thank you. So, why is it important right now to discuss this in today's environment? I know you're saying it might cause internecine rifts and all that, but that has always been the case. Why is it important today to discuss this, given that it's such an old topic? Because you're talking about Baba Sahib Ambedkar, you're talking about 2001. What is it about today's environment that made you take this up?
I think, G, this is a great question, and I will view it as three different points. The first one is, this is like a glass half full or a glass half empty analogy we can use. If it is so old and if it has already been discarded by even the historians, the Delhi historian group has got a lot of historians who actually wrote books for NCRT. Right? And 2001, way back, they have discredited it. And we talked about Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar. So, with so much of refutation being there, so why is it that the textbook committees are finding it relevant to teach it to the young students? Right? That's the number one point there. The second point is, I see this as a kind of part of the overall colonial construct of the last 200 years, and this being an important component of it. Hence, teaching this theory continuously kind of negates the independent India's outlook of inclusiveness, it about looking at development and then being equality for all these ideas which are enshrined in our constitution. I think we are still following the colonial narrative, it defeats. And the third point is, it is not very old, because even in the year 2015,
Hmm.
there was a debate in the Honorable Parliament where this Aryan theory was discussed. And at that time, the Parliamentary Affairs Minister, who later on became the who later on became the Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Venkaiah Naidu ji, has actually refuted this theory, and he has actually quoted Dr. Ambedkar on the floor of Parliament, and he has said, "I don't know who is Aryan. I am
Hmm.
an Indian." And he has also said that why are we bringing all these things now and then discussing it, right? And his exact words were, I think, why are we bringing all these things now and trying to divide people based on this and that and all, right? That's how he has expressed it. So, which I think is very relevant today, and hence we need to kind of stop this. I hope I
Wonderful.
answered your question there.
Absolutely. A quick rejoinder to that is I think I've also read archaeologically, it is proven that there's no distinction in the peoples in the country, in India, right? In Bharat, in the
Correct.
subcontinent, they all belong to the same, I think, the genetic material, if I can say that in a layperson's terms. So recently I've read some articles on that, that I think genetics wise or archaeological proofs wise, there is no such distinction, is what I'm understanding.
Yes,
So,
Ji, and you're absolutely correct. Just if I may add, and one of the evidences we submitted says that current understanding by medical sciences says that race is a social construct and it is not a biological construct.
hmm.
So it's not genetical that way to speak. So
Hmm.
that is one of the evidences we are submitting to the NCRT authorities.
Okay. And to the lay person, so you have submitted the material to them, all the proofs. But for a lay person, for the Aam Admi, why should they care about this? Ji? After all, they have so many other issues currently to take care of, whether it's job or family, financial, and the environment around them. So they have a lot of issues to take care of. So why do you think that a lay person should take this seriously? You are there, and people like you are there to fight the good fight, but what is in it for the Aam Aadmi, let's say?
I think one of the fundamental thing like any parent will think is to give a good education to a child, right, to his or her child. And I think a lot of Indian parents focus a lot, and which is correctly right and rightly so, that they try to go to a good school. They try to make sure that the children have a good education. But I don't think many parents will actually go through when the academic year starts. People are not going to sit and say, "Hey, what are they teaching?" Right in your books. We usually trust that these are all done by the textbook committees. The experts are there. They are taxpayer funded, and the government is making sure that the curriculum is the best, right, and shaping the young Bharatiyas. Right? And mostly it is so. But in this particular instance, so it is kind of quite intriguing, and that why would a 19th century race theory be continued to be taught to young impressionable minds?
Absolutely.
And what is the impact? The next question is, right, okay, chalega, right? What if they teach, right? The issue is this. Even in the 2001 Delhi Historian Group document I referred to, they are talking about how this can create a racial distinction between the students, and then they also use the word like, Aryan chauvinism can come in, right? That is
Yes.
the word they use actually there. And there is also another document which I have submitted in the 2005, the Ministry of Human Resources, right? They had filed a report. In their internal committee report, it says that they talk about what they call as cultivation of hate, right? And they talk about why textbooks should not be doing this. So I see this as part of cultivation of hate, right? That we say that there has been a distinct race of people who came and invaded India, right?
Hmm.
Now, the interesting thing is the Delhi Historian Group gives a narrative. I think a small example, I would say, not a narrative. This happened in Pakistan. One
Okay.
of the, I think, a foreign secretary or somebody, a high official from India, is visiting Pakistan. It has visited. It's a real life story. It is not. It's not a tale, right? So it is documented in that book. He is being called by one of the Pakistani VIPs to his house for a dinner, courtesy dinner. He goes there, and then as his small daughter comes, of the Pakistani VIP, she is asking who's this uncle. He introduces, saying his uncle is from India. Moment she hears this, then this girl goes around, small little girl goes around dancing Hindu Kutta, Hindu Kutta.
Oh my goodness.
And it was very embarrassing for everybody. So the girl didn't mean anything. She's a child, right?
Yes.
And the family didn't mean any disrespect. The later on, the foreign secretary discovers that in the textbooks of Pakistan, they were teaching that all Indians are Hindus and all Hindus are Kuttas.
Yes.
So this is what goes into the young mind. So when this is the power of the narrative which gets set in, and it has been documented in the Delhi historians
Okay.
document, which anybody can Google search and check.
Okay.
So that is why it is very impactful for Aam Aadmi that
Hmm.
when we focus so much on giving the best of our life just for our children's good education, we should make
True.
sure that their young minds are not getting these narratives.
Yes. So, what are your next steps, G? Because you have now submitted the documents, and the court has said by January 2025 a decision should be made. So, what are your plan A and plan B? If it's positive, then how will you go ahead? And if it's not in your favor, how will you go ahead?
Great question, G. Thank you for asking. At this point of time, what we have done is a few of the Kankaryakartas have helped me. So, whatever document we have, we say, let's put it all out in public because this is a public interest litigation. So, we have opened a website called Aryan Theory Debunked. Aryan Race Theory Debunked, I think is the word. I will possibly share it offline. You can put it down maybe in
Okay,
this
put it
video
in the
itself.
description of the
Yeah,
YouTube.
anybody can go in and see. We have collected up to 150 more articles, and these are in different fields like archaeology, linguistics, genetics, and then there is a multidisciplinary, and also a little bit on the psychological impact. Right, even
Okay.
on teaching race science to young children. All these are publicly available. We have put it, and we have taken this and also given it to a state textbook committee, which is Tamil Nadu has already asked for it. I have gone and attended the hearing and I have submitted it to them. The NCRT we are waiting. Hopefully, when they call, I will submit the same thing. Plus, also we are given a summary which states that is what is the overall arguments which we are making, and that has also been given to them. We will wait for the outcome of this, and then let's hope for the best. And then Ishvara is there, right? Then Ishvara's will guide us to the next steps.
Okay. So these are the proofs you're talking about. So these are the
That's
proofs
correct.
you've given the textbook committee, the archaeological, genetic, linguistic, all these are the proofs.
That's correct.
Yes, and those are some content from that is available on the website you're talking about, so people can read it and also learn from it.
Some of these are available because some of these research articles are, I think, subscription only,
Oh,
and so they are actually there are a lot of copyright restrictions on these research articles as well.
okay,
So we have
okay.
named them, say wherever it is available. So anybody can go and take a look at it. Like, okay, what are those documents
Sources
available?
are named. Okay,
The
okay,
sources are named and the authors are named in the standard format, so they can Google search it, and if it is publicly available, they can just use the document. And if they
perfect.
want it, if somebody is really interested, there is also an email ID which has been given. So some
Yeah.
of the Kengerakattars are willing to help and then share those documents as well.
Great. And perhaps at a later time, we can summarize this content and put it out, whether at Bṛhat or at your website. So people, even if they're not academics or scholars, can have access to the summary of each of these proofs that you've submitted. So they also know, and they will be the foot soldiers because they understand and they can talk to their children. Even if the curriculum is not changed, at least they'll have. This is what parents are looking for. G. So thank you for doing what you're doing, because parents who know that this is a false theory don't know how to talk to the children about it, tell their children that it is wrong, and if they have the source material, it gives them that much more legitimacy to talk to their children, especially teenagers, because they're going to trust the textbooks or their teachers rather than their parents. So thank you for that. What is your message to our viewers, G, on the subject, and what sort of help or support do you expect from all of us?
That's great, G. So I'll come to the question, Kavita ji, but I think you made an excellent point, right? I just, as we were speaking, it comes to me that
Mm,
possibly in the website, we may put out maybe a small, 1 minute kind of a summary for parents. So they
yes.
can actually go back to their children, because our arguments are essentially going to be, for the benefit of viewers, I'm just quickly
Mm,
saying that there is no linguistic evidence, there is no archaeological evidence, there is no such proof of an invasion,
mm,
and there is nowhere in the world that anybody has heard that such an invasion happened and people were so successful, but they never show stealthy that they don't want to talk about it, right?
okay.
So they don't have no memory. Our sacred Vedic texts have no memory of it.
Mm,
Now, the latest on the genetics also says that essentially it says that there is no such thing like race.
mm,
Race is a fictitious construct.
mm, mm,
Now, there is no such thing like Aryan. The Aryan is a fictitious label,
mm,
but it is not mathematics that, right, minus and minus becomes positive, right? So we
mm.
can't take a fictitious label and put it on a fictitious category called race and then say these two become suddenly real. It doesn't happen. So that is a summary of it. Now, coming back to the message point of it, yes, what happened was when the Brahmin Genocide book came about, there was a portion talking about the Aryan invasion theory as part of the civilizational battle, how this was constructed. Then during the period of last few months when we were talking, many across cross section of people, everybody was saying, "Oh, we know this has been debunked." And many scholars, when I speak to, they say, "Oh, we have debunked it 20 years back." And then they say, "This book has talked about it." And then
Mm,
they say, "Oh, somebody sent me a video also saying, see, this has been debunked." And there are conferences, so many, but we talking and then convincing ourselves is one part, which is
yeah.
great. But
Mm,
what has changed in the system?
mm,
If it is convinced, if it is changed, the outcome has to be there. So that is why that prompted me to actually go and file this writ petition, because even when I asked the textbook committee, they are not changing. So we have to go for this. So
mm,
now, as parents, so what does it mean to us is that I think whoever is watching this, all the Bṛhat viewers, please take 5 minutes of your time to
mhm.
go to this website, and then there is a small button which says that yes, I support debunking this, because in a democracy, Shankye Sakti, right? That
Yes.
is how the government operates, right? This is the reality, and they
Mm,
have so many priorities. So if I say one voice, it's a very small voice. A few of us get together, it is still a feeble voice. But if all of us get together, that is great. And again, practically, we cannot do that. All of us have so many work. I recognize that. But take 2 minutes to go into this website to say, yes, I think I support taking out this race theory out.
mm,
That small act of yours is a very important act, right?
mm,
It may take 2 minutes of your time, but it is going to make an impact. It's in your hands.
yes.
Second thing, please, whenever in the next 10, 15 days, when you get together with your family and friends, talk about it, or maybe share about this video. Not many will have the time to watch this entire video, which you have already done. But since you are a credible person who is talking about it, and then
Mm,
say that you go to this website and do it, because of your credibility, they are going to do it. So you're going to actually help in this cause. Third is, next question is, okay, I do all this, then what is in it for me? How am I going to get it updated? Right.
mm,
So we are working on outcomes. So there is a handle called Asi Dharmik in this, I think in the x.com they call it. So our Kainkarikatas opened it. So we promise to give you an update and then take this forward to a logical conclusion. And Ishvara is there to guide us, and all of you are there to support us. So this is the next steps we are looking at.
Dhanyavad ji for all the important work you do and the books you write and the fight you fight. So I definitely debunk the Aryan race theory, the Aryan Dravidian theory, and Sankhya Shakti, of course. Romba Nandri, and I urge all the viewers who are watching this to go to the website and click that button that Mahalingam ji has requested of us. He's in the forefront, he's fighting for us, and this is the least we can do. And of course, follow him on X or Twitter to get the updates. Thank you, Ji. Ram Ram.
Thank you to you, Ji, Kavita ji, and thank you to the Bṛhat team and to all the Bṛhat viewers. Ram Ram.